Welcome to Enhancing DOS Doom episode 2. In this episode we will take a look at the function hooking and actually add a new feature to the game. Okay, last episode we were able to run custom assembly code. But coding everything in assembly is not what we want. I have created this linker script and this makefile for GCC. We will compile our test as a position independent code as location of our code is basically random. Now, before we do anything in C, there still has to be a bit of assembly. We want to save all base addresses and then call our function. And this is a simple example how to call a function from the game. This is a function pointer and here we calculate the address of this function. But where do you find this magic offset? Well, you have to read this assembly of the game and try to understand it. This could be both hard and easy. It is easier if you have a source code. But before you do that, go check if someone else has not done this before you. In our case, I have to thank to Randy87 for releasing exactly what we need on Doom World forums. Link in the description. Now, this will generate a binary file that you can load as Ace code, and it works. Of course, we want the game to continue running. So we should not exit to DOS here, and in our assembly we just have to jump back to the original return address as if code execution never happened. So this is our return address. Well, it might look like it's working, just now it uses default configuration. And if you exit the game, it will overwrite our WAT file with default configuration. Let's jump one instruction earlier then. This will call configuration reader again. Yeah, did you expect that? It is loading our exploit over and over again and then it gets stuck. Though that text looks cool. There are many ways to solve this. I will just change config argument. This will override 4 bytes in data section and turn config into CFG. And finally, the game is running with my configuration. Okay, as a first example, we can fix double closing sound bug on fast doors. This is the bug. It makes sound when it starts closing and another when it stops. Here is this bug in Doom source code. They added start sound when fast door stops moving. Here it is in assembly. We simply want to skip this part. We can write to the code, so let's just overwrite 2 bytes. And this is jump instruction. This way we skip start sound and that fixes the bug. And this is our code. We will write 16-bit value at the location we have just found. And now it plays only once. This way, you can fix or change a lot of simple stuff, like this will invert a function of run key. You no longer have to hold shift key to play the game. What if we want to add new stuff? For example, we want to show something on the screen. This is where the new screen is put on the monitor, so we want to do something before that. But that just won't work in code memory. We cannot insert or delete here. Welcome to function hooking. We can change the function that is called here. It will replace the original function, but if you call the original inside your own hook, it's not a problem. Or you can decide whether you want to call the original or not. Or you can modify data for original function before or after it's called. This is how cheats for games are made. Let's modify something then. This will locate current screen and turn a single pixel yellow. Well, here it is. Now this code, while working, is a mess. Too many function pointers, random addresses all over the place and too much typecasting. So I made a new linker script. This time it contains relocations. A new makefile. This time the code is compiled position dependent. This makes initial assembly code a bit more complicated, but it is totally worth it. It will relocate A's code after we know the base address using relocation table I have just enabled. As for game functions, I have added jump table. This is jump opcode and this address will be relocated using Doom code base address. There is a slight complication for functions with more than 2 arguments. That is because Doom is compiled using Watcom-C but we use GCC. Finally, I have created a hook library that will make all modifications easier. This code does the same stuff but it's much cleaner. So let's make a few modifications. This function will put Doom graphics on the screen, and this function will cache anything from WAT file to the memory. And these are new modifications. Now that's a crosshair. It's even on top of everything, including the menu. Anyway, let's load more images and make them animate. It is basically coding as if this was a Doom source port, but we are still modifying the original DOS version. And now something useful. I have added a full screen status bar. We want to put something on the screen after rendering the player view. That is what this function does. So as before, I created a function hook. And this is the final code. I know, a big leap, right? Well, thanks to the new SDK, you have access to any variable and any function by just adding it to the table. I don't think me copying a code around would be too enjoyable. As for writing a status bar code, that would be a more like coding lessons. I don't think I want to turn this series into that. Anyway, let me know what you think, and that's it for now.